to the Turn Yourself into a Booked Out Freelance Translator podcast, a mix of both solo episodes and expert interviews. Our ideal listener is an early career, ambitious, and passionate online language services provider. She is committed to professional growth and achieving success in the fiercely competitive translation and interpreting industry. She balances multiple responsibilities with resourcefulness, values mentorship, is open to learning, and investing in her professional development journey. She embraces technology and seeks to optimize workflow, eager to connect with like-minded peers and build out her professional network. She is determined to overcome challenges and become a sought-after freelance translator. And here's your host, medical translator and translator business mentor, Jason Willis-Lee.
Rebecca Hollis is the Chief Growth Officer for ScoreApp. A born cheerleader, Rebecca embodies the philosophy of winning together through her work with entrepreneurs, startups, and the National Competitive Cheerleading Program for England. ScoreApp is an award-winning platform that empowers its users to generate data-rich, high-quality leads using Scorecard technology. Her work at ScoreApp centralizes around ScoreApp's strategic growth initiatives, including events, affiliates, joint ventures, and partnerships. Welcome to the show. Welcome to our podcast. It's called How to Find More Direct Clients Than You Can Poke a Stick At. I'm Jason Willis-Lee, the host of the show. How are you today?
I'm amazing. I love the title. That's amazing. I love it, Jason. Thank you for asking me on today.
Thank you so much for your time. Very grateful. So my audience of service providers, they are translators, they're interpreters, they're copywriters. And I think ScoreApp is an amazing tool. I've been using it for quite a while to talk to my market, and I think it's not just for entrepreneurs, not just for products. Could you just give us a quick introduction to the tool and your side of it? Because you're obviously in growth. We just heard your bio, and you work in the growth department. Can you give us your take on it?
Yeah, so ScoreApp was really built around this need for people to be able to demonstrate the value that they can offer to a customer. So ScoreApp is a quiz marketing software. Sounds a little bit airy-fairy, but really what it means is it's really helping people as a diagnostic or as an assessment for them to really be able to understand how they can work with you. And how it does that is via a quiz or a scorecard. We kind of use lots of different terminologies with that, but people will go through a quiz that you have designed specifically for your business. And the quiz is always based around a problem or a desire that your ideal customer will have. So they go through that quiz, they answer a couple of questions, and then here is where kind of ScoreApp is really different to a lot of these other fill-in form type of platforms, whereas it comes out with a results page which is specific to how that person has A, answered their questions, but B, scored overall. So it will give them key insights into where they are in that process. It will help them understand something about themselves, and then it will identify where their biggest areas of opportunity is. So ScoreApp is kind of filling that gap for people where they're able to use it as a lead generation tool for people to understand how they can work with your business, and then for you to be able to get all those lovely leads coming into your business. But the bonus is really that sort of that data that you get back from that scorecard of how they've answered those questions. So you can take that data and turn those leads into sales. So ScoreApp is a quiz marketing software really for service-based businesses.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, my audience can come up with a quick, like a deep dive survey and ask a few questions about prospects' pain points and what kind of content they would be interested in, perhaps, and then they would use that to nurture their lead. I mean, that's effectively what we're doing here, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. There's lots of actual ways that you can use ScoreApp in general. I mean, we like to say, like every business has, where their niche is. Our niche is about this lead generation. And it's really about being able to get lots of data from your audience to be able to really help them. That's really what it's about, because filling in a contact us page or asking people to fill in their details for you to contact them doesn't really give you much to go on. So by filling out these scorecards, you get lots of lovely data coming in for them. They get to learn something about themselves, and then you're able to approach them in a way that is able to help them really identify that pain point. It stops a lot of this at the beginning, what do you do? How can I help you? Tell me about your business. Because a lot of that you already know through the scorecard, and this is given to you by the person taking it. So it's a really lovely, warm lead and a really positive and credible interaction with that first customer.
Sounds a really nifty tool. I mean, basically, it's creating demand, would you say? So there's this sort of tug of war between supply and demand. I find that service providers sometimes think too much about supply. They're thinking, oh, I want to be a better translator or an interpreter. They're not thinking about the creation of demand, which is necessary if we're going to sell. And this tool helps us kind of, we can set up a waiting list. We can promote that waiting list for a new service. I mean, what other features has it got? I know it can score leads as well. I won't get too technical. I know it's got an algorithm where you can score leads, but it's effectively creating that demand in that tug of war, isn't it? That image of a tug of war.
I think one of the things that really sets people apart, so one of the reasons why people buy from you is either they know you, they like you, or they trust you.
Yeah.
That is the main reason why someone will come and buy your product. They've overheard it from someone else. They've consumed a bunch of your content. There's a reason why they're coming to you, especially for these kind of higher ticket services that people are having to actually make more thoughtful decision-based purchases with. So with a scorecard, one of the things that it does is it helps them to identify where they are in the process. So if you're able to help someone to uncover where they are, where's their opportunity, what is it that they actually need help with, what's going to get them from point A to point B. Yep. If you're that person, if you're that business that's going to give them that real aha moment, then they are far more likely to say, this person knows what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. And with our results page on, really you could have thousands of people fill in a quiz or fill in a scorecard, and they will get these unique results pages based on how they've answered. And that's just that's incredible hyper personalization in today's world. So scorecards in general do that, but there's lots of ways that you can actually use it. Now you can use it, like I mentioned earlier, as a way of looking at that problem or that goal that they want to achieve. So say you're a fitness trainer. So a fitness trainer might say, what is your fitness score? Now, someone who is potentially we're in January at the moment. So somebody might be saying, well, actually, I'm interested to know where I stand. So they go through a scorecard, and at the end it says, okay, you've scored 70%. You're doing pretty well, and you've done really, really well in exercise. You've scored like 95%. You've done pretty well in sleep, but your biggest area of opportunity is your nutrition. You've only scored 50% here, and there's a real big opportunity, and here's what it can do for your overall fitness. And then maybe potentially offer them services based and offers and unique offers based on that. So that is kind of one of the ways to help to use ScoreApp in general. You can use things like you mentioned earlier, like wait lists as well. Wait lists are brilliant. If you've not got a product or a service right now this second that you are necessarily selling, maybe you're doing cohorts and you're currently working with a group of people, set up a wait list. Build that tension with your audience, so that there are lots of ways that you can actually use it. You can use it as an assessment for your customers. So why not set up an assessment tool where you use it on day one, and then potentially maybe use it in 6 weeks' time to show people, it's a benchmark to show people where they were on day one and where they were 6 weeks later. If you are a coach of some kind or in that sort of consultant, you know that people forget what they've done for them in those 6 weeks. And it's a really easy way to demonstrate your value, and then maybe upsell or put them onto a certain plan, etc., etc. But the real benefit of it is really using this data in a really, really smart and tactical way. So once they've used a scorecard, however you would like to use it, it's about getting that data and being able to turn that lead into a sale in a way that's most helpful for your customer, and also that it's going to take them through the right sales process through your sales funnel.
So how easy is it to use for my audience to use, and how costly is it? I mean, can we just come in, use it for a few months and do a couple of quizzes, or do you have to go on a monthly plan? How cost effective is this?
Well, actually, ScoreApp, the platform itself is totally free. So you can just take the link, sign up. It's totally free. For the last couple of years, it's actually been a 14-day trial, and then people then would either have to pay or the account would be closed. We've now totally opened this up. So we're so confident in the product now that we just want everybody to be able to use it. Now, once you're at a stage where the scorecard is actually built and you want to send it out to the world, once you start getting leads in, so you can have 10 leads on the absolutely free plan, then it will start charging. So that's kind of how it works. But the key for us, where we changed this business model, is we actually tried to make it a lot easier for people to set up, because we know technology overwhelm. I was saying to you earlier, Jason, I'm not a techie person. You know, I am a strategy person. My head's up in the clouds. You know, I want things to work really quickly for me. So what really changed it for us was that we implemented the AI setup tool. So you basically now take a quiz using AI, and it sets up your quiz for you. So it's super fun. It's really, really easy to do. So you use the AI quiz builder. You go through a set of questions. What is your business? What's your target audience? Do these questions sound good? Is this the kind of thing that you want to achieve for your customers? And then within less than a minute, the AI has written the entire quiz for you. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, how does it know? I would say it probably gets you about 60-70% there. And then you can go in and actually start editing with your value, you know, with the right content that's right for you and your business. But it's a really good way to get started. And if anyone that uses AI will know that it's a really good way to use AI as an assistant. And that's very much how we've done that with ScoreApp. So is
that ChatGPT and prompting ChatGPT to come up with the quiz, or giving it the information, feeding, prompting it, and then it comes up with the quiz for us, right?
Yeah. So not only does it help you initially write that beginning bit of content, it will also design the scorecard for you. So most of that sort of hard work at the very beginning is done. I remember my first scorecard. I mean, so I've been there since day one when we started the business, and I, again, not technical, and I used to really struggle getting the scorecard like up and running and all designed, and I like things to look a certain way, and so it was quite hard to get that sort of fluidity of knowing what I needed to add to the scorecard. But now this is all done for you. You're able to plug in your CRM systems. You're able to add your branding and your logos. To be honest, you're able to do actually all the fun stuff in setting up a new asset, rather than a lot of the hard things. What is it that I need to do? What do I need to plug in? What content do I need? A lot of that hard work is already done for you right at the beginning.
Sure. So do you have a success story of a successful customer service business or a service provision business? I mean, you said it's more for service providers rather than products. Can you just tell us a business sort of painters? You mentioned the gym situation. I mean, I'm just thinking about my online language service providers. Well, I'm just what kind of questions they'd be asking their target audience.
Yeah.
Can you sort of paint us a picture of a mock quiz or something?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually I work with a lot of the coaches and consultants on their and I get a lot of the success stories in. It's literally my favorite thing to talk about, Jason. So the other day we had so Daniel Priestley, who's our co-founder, is a big champion of doing these wait lists. He's really big into them at the moment. He believes that you need to be able to create tension before someone's going to want to buy from you. So if there's 20 people all selling the same thing, there's not a lot of tension. You've got a lot of choice. But when there is a time limit on something, a smaller group of people, joining a wait list is a really fantastic idea. So we actually had one of our customers who was a business financial coach, a B2B financial coach, and they actually said they had a relatively good email list. They had good connections, but they didn't have a very good social media presence in general. They had a pretty decent LinkedIn. They actually set up a wait list for an idea that they had to create a joint cohort for people to be able to join. So rather than them doing this one-on-one training, they actually opened it out to do this bigger cohort, which meant it wasn't as expensive for people to join, and they created this wait list. Now they launched it to their email list, and they also launched it on their LinkedIn.
Mm.
And they said that within a week they had completely sold out, and that in fact when they actually emailed the people to say that they had got on, because they only had about 12 spaces, the other people that missed out, they emailed them to say, I'm really sorry that you missed out, you know,
Yes.
we'll try and do it again next time. They actually got 2 people off the back of that pay for one-on-one. So because of this supply and demand, this tension that was created,
Yeah.
they actually ended up selling their old program, which was a lot more expensive. In addition to that, selling out their actual event that they were doing together in this cohort. So not only did they prove that this worked and that people were interested, they now have more people on the waiting list to start with for the next one. They can send it out again, and they've got these new customers at the same time.
So what can ScoreApp do to give us a competitive edge? Because we work in a very crowded market. There's lots of translators. It seems to me as if ScoreApp can really set us apart from the crowd in a crowded market. So how can we, I'm just thinking of our listeners, they will be thinking, yeah, this sounds really interesting. How do we use it to give us a competitive edge? What kind of questions do we ask our target audience to set us apart from the crowd?
The best way to think about this, I mean, the AI quiz builder will be a really good way of you conversing and being able to have that kind of that setup support. But the best way that I've always thought about when I start a scorecard is looking at who's the person that I want to target. Like, who is that person? Who is our ideal, or who is the ideal audience, Jason, for a lot of these, for a lot of your listeners? Who would you say would be their ideal audience?
So it depends on the niche, Rebecca. It depends on the niche. I mean, mine's medicine, so I work for Spanish clinician, doctor clinicians who research, who want to climb up the ladder, job ladder, get better, get more kudos, get more salary. Other people will work in finance, will work in, so the niche, you have to have a niche to stand out in my field. So my people are financial translators, they're legal translators, art history translators, whatever it is. Some people split test different niches. I have a client doing literary and education and medicine, another client doing literary and agro-food, another client doing literary, academic, and commercial. So I'm working with clients doing different quizzes for different audiences. So we would have maybe 3 different scorecards and we split test, you know, that kind of thing. So listeners would probably fall into those. Sometimes I'm just trying to think of a niche that I haven't mentioned: finance, law, medicine, commercial,
having
all
a
kinds
niche
of niches.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Having a niche is absolutely perfect, which was sort of what I was getting at, because I having a niche to really understand how to ask these questions. So really it's looking at what I would ask yourself: what is the pain or problem that I want to solve for someone? So what is it that we want to solve? What is the real hook that's going to get my ideal audience, that one person, to go, actually, I'm really interested to find that out? And it's got to be something that's kind of mouth-watering enough for them to go, actually, I'm going to take a 1 or 2 minutes of my time just to find out and just to see what the answer of that is. So initially, I would look at the questions to get you obviously from point A to point B, which is the obvious thing. But it would also be to look at what would be the initial questions. If you and I were going to have a one-on-one and I was your ideal audience, what are the type of things that you would ask me to uncover how you can help me? So what would it be? What would be the questions that you would need to know from me to help me the absolute best? And those are really the questions that I would put into your scorecard, because that will then help you identify on the results page where it is that you can best help them. So those are the kind of questions. And the questions need to be really simple, not too much jargon. They need to be really simple. I recommend, really, for a first scorecard, to keep it very yes, no, maybe a couple of multiple choices, something like that, but keep it really simple. Because what we want people to do is we want people to really get from that landing page where the hook is saying, this is a scorecard, this will help you take the scorecard now. They fill in their details. We want to get them from there to the results page in the quickest amount of time. So it's really not about kind of as many questions as you possibly can. It's about having those questions be as succinct as possible to help them get to the value which is on that results page. So you have scored X amount, or here is your biggest area of opportunity. This is the niche that we think that we're going to be able to make the biggest impact on your business. Here is an offer specifically for that, specifically for you. You can book into my calendar. And also they can go into like a follow-up CRM system. There's lots and lots of ways, as you know, Jason, where you can actually use and do that follow-up sequence as well. So really it's about making it from the landing page to the results page as quickly as possible and as succinct as possible in terms of the question.
I think if you were my prospect, I would be asking you, I want to know why you're buying from me, exactly why you're buying from me. Am I saving you time? Am I saving you money? What exactly is your pain point that I'm solving? So for my audience, my scorecard is called, Is Your Freelance Translation Business Ready to Scale? And I asked them about their revenue, and I have various revenue levels. I had a grease the wheels question, a very simple yes/no question you mentioned, which do you have a website, yes or no? 3 in 5 people told me they don't have a website, which could be indicative there are more beginners than mid-career people.
Yes.
So that was interesting for me. So I got some really amazing insights from this tool. And audience, the link to my quiz will be in the show notes, as hopefully the link to come in and use the program that Rebecca is talking about. What kind of support and training do you offer us if we have a techie problem and we're like you, maybe I'm like you as well. I'm not so techie. If other people, how can we get you must have a support email, someone on the back end, a support email to help us out with a tech
we do. Yeah. We have a fantastic support team. Actually, they're all over the world. We've got some in Australia, we've got some in the UK, we've got some in Canada. So we're on every time zone. So you can email us at any time, support@scoreapp.com. Any questions, we're always happy to help. So when you first come on to ScoreApp, we've got loads of tools and loads of resources to be able to help you through. We also have a weekly setup and score. So what this is it's like about an hour long where our head of customer success goes through really the different stages. What is a scorecard? What is a concept? What is a hook? How do you fill this in? How do you write your questions? How do you add your, what's the results page? How do we hook it all up to your CRM system? So it's a really good way of getting your scorecard up and running. It's an hour long. It's also recorded. So if you can't make the live session, so you have that every single week and you can ask questions. So that's always available to you. We also do a free one-to-one call every time someone onboards to a customer. We do a free one-to-one call just for people that really want to kind of hit the ground running and get up and running. We've got a bunch of resources, and actually when you are within ScoreApp, we do a lot of free training with our co-founder Daniel Priestley, who Jason, who is a fantastic entrepreneur. He's very skilled in the world of business, so he's got lots of different perspectives that he actually provides lots of free training. So that's all available to you. We have online chat. We really actually have quite a lot, Jason, for a tech company for people to be able to get hold of us, and we're always readily available for people to speak to. We want people to be successful, we really do.
I can vouch for that myself. I had the onboarding call, which was fantastic. I think the webinars are on Wednesday. I logged in to the webinar on Wednesday, and Daniel, I've been on a couple of his calls as well with hundreds of other people as well. Yeah, he's excellent. I haven't met him in person, but he's absolutely top, first class. So that's training and support. So basically, I mean, do you have any final thoughts for my audience? I mean, maybe someone's listening, they're wondering how they can leverage this for their particular niche, whether it's finance or law or medicine. I mean, it seems to me a fantastic tool to just get the lead generation, which is the problem I see in many freelance translators. There's too much supply side thinking, not enough demand side thinking. So I talk about, and I do say everything comes downstream of lead generation. This avatar, I call it Lead Gen Lucy. So I say, well, I help Stuck Sallies with their marketing turn into Lead Gen Lucys. And I do it by then. I show the transformation of what I can do. And this seems a way that you can stand out really head and shoulders above the rest, apart from specializing in your niche, of course. Any final thoughts? I mean, anyone on the fence? We've talked about, my scorecard. The link will be I have an affiliate link with you, a special link. Will that give my people will it be a longer trial period or a cheaper subscription? What will that link give them?
No, so if you're on an affiliate link, so if anyone that signs up via your affiliate link, they get 50% off of their first month when they decide to pay. So as I said, ScoreApp is free, and anyone that's on the fence, it's actually free to use ScoreApp, totally free. Go in, have a play around, set up your scorecard. There's no contract; it's cancel anytime. If you do end up paying, there really is kind of you might as well give it a go and take it up.
There's no excuse not to use it.
Yeah, and just have a bit of fun with it. Use the AI quiz setup tool, and maybe consume some of the cool videos that we've got with Daniel, etc., etc. But I was going to say the same thing as you, Jason, that everything is downstream from lead generation. If you can fix that problem, anyone can have the best product or service in the entire world, but if no one is seeing it, if no one is able to get eyeballs on it and really understand what problem you solve or what goal you help them achieve, then they're not going to buy from you. And this is just one of those ways that we are able to really help people identify and understand how they can work with your business through a quiz. Now, you will be surprised whether it be a B2B business or a B2C business or B2C person. It really doesn't matter. It's helping those people identify how you're going to be able to solve their problem or service. So whether it be, we have lots of people that do like internal recruitment or something like that, or that they're doing, they're working with big, large corporate companies. There are all sorts of people that are filling in these quizzes and filling in these scorecards to help them constantly data gather and understand how to solve their problem and where the opportunity lies for them. So it's really, really universal. You'll be really, it's crazy. We've got scorecards ranging from, like you said, people doing fitness training. We've got people that are doing like find out when you're going to be able to retire, which everybody wants to know. Can you retire at 60? We've got people using it. Are you ready to become a DJ? I mean, like, there's loads of reasons. There's very fun and interesting ways of getting people into your business by tapping into their little curiosity into how you potentially could solve their problem. And really everything's downstream from lead generation. And with ScoreApp, you don't only just get a lead coming into your business, you get all that lovely data. And although I might not be technical, I'm very data driven. And in this world, we have to be looking at the data. We have to be able to read the data on what's coming in to be able to really help provide products and services for people and identify how we can turn those leads into sales.
Can I just press you on the one? So it's free up to 10 leads, and as of 10 leads, then it's a paid option.
And also, so when so say you get to 11 leads, they don't just disappear. We keep them, and then it's so really, we just want people to be paying for the value that they're getting from ScoreApp, and we didn't want people to start their plan before they'd set everything up. We want to give you the best opportunity to use it. Press go, and you can get more leads into your business. So 10 leads. You can have lots and lots of a draft scorecards as well, so you can have a little play around with, like you said, you might have multiple scorecards for different audiences, but in addition to that, you can also test inside ScoreApp your landing page, so test different hooks, see what works best, see what resonates with people. And then in terms of promotion, I think some people might be thinking, well, how do I get it out there? Promotion is really super easy. We've got like a whole course on how to really promote your scorecard, but it's really about newsletters, your email list, social media, paid advertising. There's lots of different ways to get your scorecard out there. Anywhere that you would go and promote at the moment, a scorecard is actually a really fun and engaging way. And you will notice that the conversion rates generally on social media are a lot more engaged when it comes to discover something about yourself for free rather than just come and see what my business has to offer.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So obviously embedded on the website, social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those places. And I certainly got almost 100 responses, I think, and it was a very, very good conversion.
Amazing.
So that's fantastic. So I'll put the link to my quiz, which is your freelance translation business ready to scale? That's for my productized service that I offer translators. And I'll put the special link that you've talked about that will give my people an entry in. Rebecca Hollis, thank you so much for joining us on How to Find More Direct Clients Than You Can Book a Sticker. I'm your host, Jason Willisley. Stay on your game until next episode, and I will see you then.
Here's a fun fact about Jason. Jason was born in Aberdeen, Scotland in the UK. Thanks for tuning in to the Turn Yourself into a Booked Out Freelance Translator podcast. We'll be back soon. In the meantime, why not head over to www.entrepreneurialtranslator.com to access all our tools and resources to monetize and future-proof your freelance translation business. And don't forget to hit the plus button in Apple Podcasts or iTunes, or subscribe in Spotify to be notified when new episodes drop. For regular tips and insights, business strategy, or marketing techniques straight to your inbox, please sign up at www.entrepreneurialtranslator.com.